What's up guys, back with another Star Rail video. In today's video is going to be the first of many should you summons. We are going to start it off with the very first banner out on launch, and that is Seele. Seele is the first limited character, meaning that when her banner leaves, she will no longer be able to be summoned. That means if you summon on future banners, she won't be there and she will not be added to the standard banner. So if you want her, you pretty much have to summon now. She will obviously return. If you've played Genshin Impact, you know that characters eventually will make a rerun. No idea when her rerun will be, so it's recommended to pull her while she's out. She also comes with her very own light cone. Light cones are basically like equipment in this game, and they are going to be tailored to certain characters, but as long as a character meets the requirements, they can use them. But we'll get into that when we switch over to her light cone banner. Let's start off with Seele. Seele is a quantum hunt unit. The hunt units are specializing in single target attacks. Pretty much if there is a very strong boss in your face, you're going to use a character from the hunt and DPS them down. And Seele is also quantum. So before we get into what she does, let's look at her competition. So, not that one, this one, there we go. All right, so for the hunt characters, we have Seele. By the way, if I pronounce his name wrong, I do apologize. We have Yangjin, Don Hang, and Sushang, I believe it's how you say that, which are ice, wind, and physical, meaning she's the only quantum hunt character. And funny enough, she's actually one of the two, yes I say two, because Silverwolf, while on the site, I will leave you a link in the description, is not going to be playable for people quite yet. So it's either Seele or, I'm not even going to pronounce her name because I swear I've heard it said 4 different times, but the other character is not a DPS at all and is more of a status inflictor, a character who will slow the enemy down. So your only DPS option for quantum is Seele. I'm sure you can make the other 4-star work if you really wanted to, but DPS is Seele's thing. So if you want a good quantum character, Seele's right there. If you want a good hunt character, Don Hang is free, right? And the other two are summonable, one of them being another 5-star. So it's already looking pretty good that if you need a hunt character or you need a quantum character, Seele is a really good banner to summon on just off of that. So Seele will get bonus points for that. But now let's go over what she does. So Seele has a quantum basic attack, just like most characters. Their basic attack is just their element damage. Then her skill increases her speed by 25% for 2 turns and deals quantum damage. Of course, when you level up the skill, it's going to be doing more damage. And of course, as always, it is a single target as she is a hunt character. Then her ultimate, she enters a buff state and deals quantum damage. Again, it's going to do more damage the more you level up. It's going to be doing more damage than her skill. And then she has a talent. A talent is pretty much a unit's passive. She enters a buff state upon defeating an enemy with basic attack, skill, or ultimate, and receives an extra turn. While in the buff state, the damage of Seele's attacks increases by 40%, and that will increase upon her talent level for 1 turn. Enemies defeated in the extra turn provided by Resurgence will not trigger another Resurgence. If you are smart about this though, you can loop it, which is really nice. And then her technique is, after using her technique, Seele gains a stealth for 20 seconds. While stealth is active, Seele cannot be detected by enemies, and when entering battle by attacking enemies, Seele will immediately enter the buff state. Pretty nice. So pretty much if you use her ultimate, or you just defeat an enemy, you enter the damage 40% up state for 1 attack. That's a pretty good buff. Plus, the speed increase is very important. We'll talk about that later when we get to her light cone. Then we have her traces. These are going to be what she gets from leveling up. Her first one is Nightshade. When current HP is 50% or lower, reduces the chance of being attacked by enemies. Gonna be very nice as this is your DPS if they die. That's going to be very, very rough for you to beat enemies if they're really tanky. Then she has, while Seele is under the buff state, her quantum res pen increases by 20%. Pretty much what that means is she will do more damage to enemies that are, or sorry, not damage, but she'll lower the toughness of an enemy who's weak to quantum. Toughness is the little bar above their HP. no, it's not super effective like in Pokemon. I know it's going to take a lot to remember that it's not type advantage like most RPGs. It just deals with toughness. Pretty much, she'll break it faster, which is a really, really good ability, especially when put on Seele, because she's only single target. So there's multiple enemies. You don't want to be stuck trying to break the toughness of just one enemy with just her. Then her last trace is Rippling Waves. After using a basic attack, her next action will be advanced forward by 20%. Using this to advantage with her Resurgent talent pretty much means that she will be doing a pretty good amount of damage. Now, we go on to her dupes. Now, this is probably going to be only failing to find the word for it, but this is only really going to impact you if you are going to whale. If you are a free-to-play player, I'd recommend not chasing dupes, as your resources could be better off spent on light cones or feature characters. Now, her first one is when dealing damage to an enemy whose HP is 80% or lower, crit rate increased by 15%. 80% is pretty high. So as long as you just hit them once, you're probably good to go. Then her second one is the speed boost. Effective Seele's skill can be stacked up to 2 times. This is massive for her light cone. We'll go over that later. Then her third is just increasing her skills and her talent by 2. On her fourth dupe, she gains 15 energy when defeating an enemy. And then on her fifth one, ultimate is up by 2 and her basic is up by 1. And then on her last dupe is kind of crazy, whole paragraph. After she uses her ultimate, inflict the target enemy with Butterfly Flurry for 1 turn. Enemies suffering from Butterfly Flurry will take additional quantum damage equal to 15% of Seele's ultimate damage every turn they are attacked. If the target enemy is defeated by Butterfly Flurry damage triggered by other allies' attacks, Seele's talent will not be triggered. When Seele is knocked down, the Butterfly effect will end. So it does suck that enemies can't damage the opponent or her talent won't trigger, but I still think that is a pretty dang good ability. Now, let's get on to her light cone. Well, before I say that, I do think Seele is a very good character, but we'll get into the should you summon after I go over the light cone, because that might affect some people's decision. So, her light cone, this is that one, my bad. Her light cone is Flowers and Butterflies. Increases the wearer's crit rate by 18%. Do note that this can only be equipped to characters who are of the Hunt group, meaning only these characters can use it. If you don't have these 4 characters, probably shouldn't be summoning for the light cone, even though Danheng is free. Do keep that in mind. So don't be like, oh hey, I got Welt, and be like, oh I really want this, I want to be a DPS. Fortunately, you can't equip it. Anyway, back to the weapon. Increases crit rate by 18%. While the wearer is in battle, for every 10 speed that exceeds 100%, the damage of this wearer's basic attack and skill is increased by 8%, and the crit damage of their ultimate is increased by 12%. This effect can stack up to 6 times. Do note that with more dupes, it goes up, but the 6 times it's always the same, and the 10 is always the same, it doesn't go down. This is important because Seele off rip has 115 speed. Other characters, oh, there we go, have 109, 107, and then I have to click on Danheng. He has 110, so meaning Seele and Danheng are the only 2 characters that are going to benefit from the second part of the light cone from not doing anything. Do note that all the characters do have ways of increasing speed. Yangjing has a talent, no, trace, sorry, Genshin stuff, has a trace where he increases speed by 10% for 2 turns. Susheng has a, I believe also a trace, where is it? Oh no, was it a dupe? I'm forgetting, holy crap. I looked at her the least, you can probably tell that. It is, oh, it's this one, sorry, it's her talent. I was like, where is it? She has a talent that increased speed by 15%. Danheng has a trace. I'm clicking on all the right things right now. Has a trace, which is a Ascension, increases speed by 20%, and then Seele, like I said, her E increases hers by 25. So Seele has the best buff and probably the easiest as to get the trace. It's the last one for Dan Heng. For Su Shang, you have to break an enemy's toughness, and then for Yang Jing, you have to just trigger a crit, which is pretty easy, but he also is a 5-star, so he's harder to pull in that sense. Dan Heng is probably the only character I would maybe go after this light cone for if you don't have Seele. If you have Seele, this is probably the best. I mean, it is tailor-made for her, light cone for her. It all depends on how much currency you want to spend. So we go back to the question, should you summon? Personally, I think Seele is the better of the two characters that are in the first two banners. The other character, while pretty good, doesn't do a whole ton that I think is going to affect the team enough, as he's mostly just AoE damage. I know Seele also doesn't do anything really for the team. However, considering she is quantum and the other character, we will go ahead and go back on him, is lightning. There's kind of at least some options for lightning for 4-stars you can use instead of Jing Yang, including Serval. I mean, she's Iridation, but you know, you can get away with using some of these characters compared to Seele, who only has one other character, unfortunately. It's going to be kind of rough at the beginning for characters, so I do think with that in mind, Seele is going to be a better pull, as if, you know, if you don't have a quantum character and someone's weak against quantum and you need quantum for it, it's, you know, going to be really unfortunate. So I recommend summoning on Seele. Of course, if your favorite character is Seele or whoever, always summon for who your favorite characters are. I think that is way better to do than summoning for meta, but like I said, I do think Seele is the best, and her light cone is extremely good. I think you should only summon for her light cone though if you already have Seele and are okay with spending more of your currency, or if you really like Dan Heng. Grab him again. If you really like him, like he's your favorite character, and you're like, okay, my calling is Dan Heng, then I will say probably consider maybe going after in the night. Obviously, do think about the fact that they're going to be future characters, but still really good. Dan Heng can use this really well. But that'll pretty much be it for the video. Hopefully this helped you guys out with if you want to summon for the light cone or Seele, or just skip altogether. Let me know what your plan is for when the game launches. If you're going for both, going for one, skipping, whatever it may be. I will probably be summoning for Seele. We'll see what the, you know, summons are looking like when I start the game, and then we'll see if I end up buying packs or going in. But don't forget to like and subscribe for more Honkai Star Rail content. With the game dropping tomorrow, there's going to be tons and tons of content, so you don't want to miss it. And of course, thanks for watching.